Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to VonAllen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go. Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to VonAllen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go.
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
All right, man, what a game. What a game. That was great. Man, I don't know what to say actually. That was pretty awesome. Let me see here.
VonAllen Sports.
Okay. Wrong one, actually. Wrong scene. Okay. So let's just wait a second. Just let people get on for a second. And we'll go over this real quick. There we go. All right. So some random pages saying, what's up, man? Tyree, I know, right? Doug Peterson, man. Damn. Luke, there goes my Chargers over Chiefs prediction. Yep. Straight into the abyss, just like the Chargers do. That's who they are. Yeah. Alpha Courage, what's up? Coming over from Gord's Dreams live stream. Yeah, I watched him play some Batman last night. That was fun. And let's see. Who else is here? Go. What's up, Go? Haven't seen you in a while, man. How you been doing? Elf of Courage. Let's see here. That's what I get for using a makeshift quick background, yeah? All right. So we got a super chat already. Elf of Courage sends a $2 super chat. He says, Chargers chargered in typical Chargers fashion. Yes, they did. As far as, I will say this, in the sense that they just didn't know how to close it out. They didn't know, they just kept doing stupid crap constantly, and penalties will kill you. I mean, even the Jaguars tried to do some things to help the Chargers. Like, why did Josh Allen push Trevor Lawrence? Why did Josh Allen push Justin Herbert over? Like, that was, I mean, honestly, it shouldn't have been a penalty. That shouldn't be in the rules, but it is. And since it is, and you know it's going to be called, why would you do something like that? So they even did that. Joey Bosa going nuts. I understand that he's mad and all that, but still, this is the playoffs, man. You can't keep doing stuff like that. This isn't the regular season. You can't get away with things like that and have it. It's just idiotic. All right. DC52, what's up? Jason never sleeps. Says Lawrence is overhyped. Maybe later, but not now. Regarding Trevor Lawrence, it's a typical first round pick or first overall pick, isn't it? It's the typical hype for guys like that. That's how it works. It's taken him a few years to kind of get playing, but I think a lot of that has to do with coaching. I don't think Trevor is as good of an overall quarterback as Justin Herbert is, but I still think he's coming along good. And listen, we can talk about quarterbacks versus other quarterbacks. We can talk about Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. We can talk about Mahomes versus Burrow and all this other crap, all right? But one thing that matters the most, and that is being able to screw up, being able to bury your team in the dirt, and then come out of it alive, all right? That's what we want from these guys. I don't know about you guys, but as a fan, that's what I want to see. I want to see a quarterback who is a total, absolute leader on the field. Okay. I mean, I know you guys know I like to compare wars and things like that to football. It's only because I love history so much and I try to find ways to incorporate it. But we're talking like when Julius Caesar was surrounded, okay, by so many troops of Pompey's army and the entire Pompey's army and the entire Western Roman area. They brought everything at him. They even brought parts of Africa and different legions, and he kicked their asses. Okay, talking about taking a loss and turn it into a victory. That shows mental toughness. And again, this is nothing. I'm not even going to get on Justin. It doesn't mean that Justin screwed up. He didn't really. It's just he played his game, but the Chargers kind of went kind of dumb as a team overall. They just in general, and they didn't do things that they were supposed to do. But the Jaguars were not going to leave this game embarrassed like that. They weren't going to. And at first I thought, okay, just make a game of it. Just make a game of it. Okay, please make a game of it. And then worry about winning once you get some points on the board. And then you could see that they weren't going out like that. It was amazing. Great game. I loved it. Holy crap. Oh, no. I gotta screenshot this mother. All right. Elvin Courage, somebody's coming from for your title, man. James Johnson sends $100 super chat. James, thank you so much, man. He says the Chargers chargered. I feel so bad for Herbert, but Staley may be fired and Sean Payton hired. Chiefs are going to steamroll the Jags. But I was right on both of my predictions. Jags outscored the Chargers 31-3 when they were leading 27-0. Respect Trevor and Doug. Well, so far I'm right as well. Not that is a big deal or anything, but it's for me because I don't really go after scores or anything like that. But it's 49ers was pretty easy to pick, right? That was pretty easy. This one was the difficult one, right? So I'm a little more proud of this one. So so it's a lot, as far as I'm concerned, much more difficult. So I did appreciate how the Seahawks at least made a game of it for the first half. But anyway, that game, whatever, everyone was going to know the outcome of that. But this is different. This is the NFL, guys. This is why we love this sport. It is because you never know what's going to happen. Why? Because these teams are so evenly matched across the board. The only difference between a bad team and a good team is a few pieces. That's it. A good coach and a few pieces, but everything else, these are elite, the best of the best guys. Okay? So, and that's why we love it. I know that some people are going to get all butthurt about the Jaguars coming back and winning, and there's going to be people says already on Twitter, it's rigged, it's scripted, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, why didn't they rig and script the Seahawks 49ers game? Because that thing was a snooze fest, okay? So I'm just wondering why we didn't get a show off that one, right? But they picked the lowly Jaguars, and I mean that as far as market, okay? So a team that has the smallest fan base in the country, and they basically choose them for the mess of comeback. Screwing over the Chargers. So we have a small market Jacksonville team embarrassing a large market Los Angeles team on national TV. So whatever, they can whine. This was about, if you know anything about football, if you know anything about competitive sports, you know why this happened and how this happened. And it's coaching, okay? Coaching is so important in the NFL. This is why every single week I am yelling about Todd Bowles and I'm yelling about the offensive coordinators on the Patriots and other guys. I'm yelling about the Chargers head coach all the time, Brandon Staley. So here's the situation, okay? A victory for the Chargers tonight would have only led to a destruction next week, all right? But that victory would have meant that Staley keeps his job and a few more years of Brandon Staley further slowing Herbert, okay? But this loss, as much as it hurts, is better for Justin if they make the move. Now, if they don't make the move, then God help them. They're the Chargers, okay? But this guy is an idiot. I've watched Staley lose more games for the Chargers in the last few years than I've seen any other coach have a single decision that lost it for them. So Sean Payton just became a prime target for the Chargers if they're smart enough to take it. So Sean Payton is not coming back just to develop a rookie that has to draft and then see what happens. He's not coming back to rebuild. All right. He's coming back to win a second ring. He wants a ring. He wants to prove himself. And a lot of times quarterbacks are tied to coaches. Coaches are tied to quarterbacks. He's tied to Drew Brees. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that Sean Payton wants to prove himself that he can win it with different quarterbacks. So he's not coming back for nothing. He's coming back for a serious situation. Justin Herbert, he's already got him. Chargers have a great roster. Sean Payton already comes to Los Angeles to do the Fox Sports shows all the time. In fact, a funny story, you guys know my friend Z, who's on here sometimes, the Raiders fan. Well, he works here in LA, and on his way to work, one of his coworkers on the way to work the other day got rear-ended on the freeway by Sean Payton. So so Sean Payton's been spending some time here. So I thought that was pretty funny. If I'm talking fast, it's only because I'm just pumped by that game. That game was exciting. I'm so glad we got a show like that. I did pick the Chargers, but I mean the Jaguars, but I didn't think it would. I never thought this would happen, honestly. So at halftime, I was like, my God. But James Johnson sends a $2 super chat. He says, VonAllen Sports, let's go. He says, Elf, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming for you. I love the competition, guys. I love it. Of course, it's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. You have no idea how big of a help that is. Who else has joined us while I was ranting just now? Well, I was not really ranting. I was just excited. But I do have something to rant about, so just wait a second here. Rye Davis, what's up, man? How you doing? Writing any new music, buddy? You been working on music? DC, of course. Bloody pleb. You freaking bloody plebeians. Always rioting, always causing trouble. Anthony Preston. One question, how sway, how? In my Kanye voice. I can't do that. I don't know how. Yep, bloody pleb. Herbert laid an egg in the second half, and you got to do that, man. Fuck Spanos, DC52 says. Well, Ever Courage. Yeah, you could always sell the Xbox. I mean, sell the Xbox and then send a super chat. Yeah, that'll work. Milena, Mozili, Coca-Cola, Moya? Lagadaria, no-go? Okay. Yeah, so he might have thrown 4 picks in the first half, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We all know this. Listen, we saw Tom Brady throw a pick 6 in the Super Bowl, okay? A pick 6 in the Super Bowl. That's the worst time to throw a pick 6. I mean, it's never a good time to throw a pick 6, but that is the worst time. And there's no excuses. That was on Tom completely, just a bad read, okay? What's up? Huh? Oh, it is the worst time. I know it. Well, I know I'm stating the obvious, but still, it is the worst time. Okay, Blogadere. All right. Yeah, it's the worst time to throw a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. And that pick 6 led to a 21-0 lead for the Falcons, right? And then they end up going down 20-3, and that quarterback still comes back and wins Super Bowl MVP. Okay, this is what we want from our quarterbacks. This is what you want. This is what you want to see. So maybe Trevor Lawrence wasn't fancy tonight. Maybe Trevor Lawrence didn't look perfect. Maybe he didn't have the greatest arm strength. Maybe he didn't make the greatest throws and made terrible reads on certain passes. But you know what? He won. He won the day. He won, and that's it. Okay? If you're in the Old West and 2 gunslingers go at it, no one's going to care how cool and fancy your shots were if you don't kill the other dude and if you end up dead, right? So that's all that matters. You can have all the flash and flare and all that you want, but it just takes one. It just takes one. And Trevor got it. So, but I do have to say, I also want to shout out to Doug Peterson as a coach. Okay. So coaching is so important, and he kept his quarterback from freaking out. Most quarterbacks, even veterans, after throwing 4 picks, would completely melt down, would completely lose it. Okay. And he didn't. And he kept them together. He kept them focused. The team didn't give up. It's like when Doug Peterson was going in at the half, he said, we just got to calm down and play our game and don't think about, being down so much. Just play the game way we play it, and that's it. And that's what he did. And that's all you can do, really, So great game. I'm happy for the Jaguars fans too, okay? They deserve this. I mean, obviously I'm not a Jaguars fan, but they deserve this. I am a fan of Jacksonville, the town. I am a fan of the state of Florida. Florida is the best state in the country. And so props to them for that, except I still can't bring myself to go for the Dolphins. But anyway, so Jacksonville, good for them. They deserve it. They've had a rough time with a lot of bad teams, a lot of losing, okay? So it's good for them, Let me get caught up here. Man, I'm so glad I went live tonight for this. I wasn't expecting to go live, but that game just had me all excited. I'm like, why am I sitting here typing all this crap when I could be talking to my friends? So, Elva Courage sends $1 super chat. That's, empty. Cool. Yeah, Bloody Pleb says, I hate when people look at the stat sheet and see interceptions and assume that quarterback was outplayed. Yeah, exactly. You got to look at it. It goes beyond that. Okay, cool. You still do music. Yeah, me too. Saw Your Beans Playhouse. What's up, man? Welcome. Let's see here. And guys, by the way, if you're a member, make sure you use your member super chat. Austin Thomas says he's a member for 3 months, and Austin Thomas says, why didn't the Chargers go for it on 4th and 3? At what point in the game was that? You have to remind me. I can't recall it right now. There were a few times where I was tweeting something, trying to communicate to everybody, and then I missed a few things. So remind me of that particular one. I didn't understand. I do have a question. I didn't understand, first of all, why the Jags ever went for 2 in the third quarter. I didn't understand that. That didn't make sense. Like, why are you chasing points? So that was weird. I also didn't understand why the Chargers didn't call a timeout at the end of the game. Why did they wait to freeze the kicker? That's not going to work anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter. I would have used the timeout earlier. I would have forced the Jaguars to have to run a play if I could. So at least, you saw what happened when they almost botched the handoff. So even if they kneeled it, fine. Make them do it. Just make them. I'm all for forcing them to do something. So you want to make them kneel it, fine, whatever. So just make them do it. I was, James Johnson says a $2 super chat and says, Elp, I'll take the Xbox. Well, I went to Elp's channel and checked that out. And I think he's got children. I think he's got 2 sons. So I'm sure they'll put that Xbox to good use. I'm running out of room here. Okay. Elva Courage sends a $5 super chat. He says, at James Johnson, I'll always be the first winner in the VonAllen Sports quarterback. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You will always have that title. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Let's see here. Homeland Magazine, what's up? Welcome. Thank you, guys. If you're new here, please subscribe. And if you want, you can even join the Empire. And, of course, you can do the cool emojis. So watch this. If I say Chris Sims, then you'll start to see a bunch of Chris Sims mugshots or, different things like that. So you can do that if you're a member. You can also, you get a free super chat once per month. And there goes the Chris Sims. See, you get to do that, and that's awesome, right? So just for that alone is worth $2 a month, right? Definitely worth it. But Homeland Magazine, since you're new here, I'm going to read your chat. He says, Coach Staley has turned Herbert into Trent Dilfer. Ouch. Damn. Yeah, well, he has a power arm and does nothing but dink and dunk. Okay, well, Homeland Magazine, Staley is a idiot, okay? And I've been saying this for a long time. It's just, I don't like his coaching style, so yeah. Hopefully this is the end of him. Thanks, DC. Appreciate that, man. By the way, guys, if you're talking to me directly, put at VonAllen. If you can't send a super chat, put at VonAllen, and that makes it easier for me to see that. Unless you're not talking to me directly. So yeah, if you're new here watching, make yourself known. Say hi in the chat. I don't care what fan you or what team you're a fan of. Just talk to us. Let's go. Oh, on the Chargers' last possession. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That again, that's a coaching thing, and yeah, it's who's blaming the Chargers defense? I keep seeing that. Well, it was a team-wide collapse, right? I mean, the offense couldn't get anything done when your defense gets you 4 interceptions, okay? And a fumble. So that's 5 turnovers. You have to win that game. You have to. There's just no way around it. You've got to win that game. That is a team-wide collapse. Of course, the defense gave up some stuff in the second half, that too, but they're not the only thing. It's just the offense didn't put any points on the board. They were conservative. They didn't want to go for it. They didn't want to take any chances. They played not to lose. They played some prevent defense. I was like, why are you giving them 9 yards of room there? This is stupid. Play your game. Just play your game. Go after them. Do what you did when you got called off sides. When Joey Bosa was lined up off sides in the neutral zone. Do that. Okay? Keep coming at them. Make them earn every cent. And they weren't doing that. They were pulling back in coverage, constantly pulling back. They were treating Trevor Lawrence, all right, as if that was Tom Brady or Peyton Manning out there. And they weren't coming at him. They weren't trying to make anything happen. They would do one here, then a bunch, and then never do it. And then one here, and then it's not enough. I'm saying you just come at them. You just freaking go at them all day long. Don't even, just as much as the Jaguars cannot think that they're down by so much in the after the first half, the Chargers cannot acknowledge that they're up. Okay? You've got to play your game. You don't start doing that whole let's be slow, let's run the clock. You don't start doing that until the fourth quarter, and even late into the fourth quarter. That is when you start doing that stuff. Or I guess it depends on how far you're up. But as we know with the Colts and the Vikings, that no lead is safe apparently. So you got to play your game. It's why also people give the Falcons too much crap about the 28-3 comeback. They were playing their game, okay? They knew they're a passing team. They had the league MVP in Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan played a phenomenal game, by the way. Go back and watch that Super Bowl. Watch his stats. He played great. He is not the problem, all right? He was not the problem. But they kept playing what got them there. What got them up to 28-3 was playing the way they play, and they were trying to put the dagger into the Patriots, and they just couldn't do it, okay? The Patriots had a lot to do with that. It wasn't just the Falcons, okay? It wasn't just the Falcons, the stupid Falcons, or why did they do that? Why didn't they run the ball? Well, if they ran the ball and then didn't make it or convert, they would have said, why didn't you throw the ball? You have the MVP quarterback. Or if he fumbles it on the run back. I mean, whatever. You can say whatever, okay? But you got to play your game, and you can't play scared. I would rather lose and be me than lose and be conservative and be like, oh, well, so everyone can say, well, Æron, you did the right thing. You may have lost, but you did the right thing. Oh, screw you. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what got us here, and I'm going to live and die by that. And that's what you got to do. Like I said, there is exceptions. It depends on the situation. It depends on how far ahead you are or how late in the game it is. And I get that, okay? But this wasn't one of those things. The Chargers had no business, taking the foot off the gas pedal. They just didn't. It's just... Oath of Courage sends a $5 super chat and says, you can still win the postseason prize of a used Nintendo Wii. I'd forgotten about that joke. Yeah, there you go. So I've never owned a Wii. I don't think I've ever played it. Not sure anyway. So, okay. Oh, those are your cousins. Okay. Oh, I definitely don't blame Herbert. As far as it's like, oh, it's Herbert's fault. He sucked, Well, no, I mean, he has to take some of the blame. He's the quarterback, right? So you've got to. He should have converted. I know he's young and all, and he doesn't really want to defy his coach and stuff, but sometimes you just got to throw the ball. But Kevin Godnet, member for 14 months, sends a member super chat. Says, what's worse, this or the 06 divisional game versus the Pats? Oh, that's much worse for you mean for the Chargers. Yeah, this is much, the 06 divisional is much worse than tonight. Tonight's Chargers was a team that, I mean, yeah, they got into the playoffs, but nobody expected a lot from them, and we didn't expect a lot from them today. I mean, my God, I picked the Jaguars, all right? So it's not something that we expected immediately, right? Back then, in that 06 game, the Patriots weren't the Patriots anymore. The Patriots were in a weird zone. They were in that strange place of post Super Bowl winning and pre Randy Moss and Wes Welker and all that stuff. They didn't have a lot of weapons on offense, and it was just a weird time frame, right? They had just gotten beat by the Denver Broncos in the divisional game the year before. The Chargers, though, the 06 Chargers, were amazing. Okay, that is probably their best team that they've ever had, in my opinion. And you squandered it. What did they go 14-2 that year, or something like that? I mean, it was in your house. And again, this wasn't the 03-04 Patriots that came into your house doing that. This was a different Patriots team that came in and did that. So, yeah, the 06 is much, much worse. If you're a Chargers fan, that one still ranks up there. This one, not so much. This Chargers team is not ready yet. They're just not there yet. What makes that 06 even worse is because they had Marty Schottenheimer as their head coach. And no one's comparing Brandon Staley to Marty Schottenheimer. So there's just no excuses in 06. They're just, the only excuse you have is you played against the GOAT, right? And the GOAT didn't even have a good game. That was actually one of Tom Brady's more bad games in the playoffs that he had. And, yeah, it still worked out. So. Marion Jackson, welcome. He says, what argument do you think the media will use to justify their Mahomes as the face of this generation proclamation if Burrow wins the Super Bowl? Phenomenal question, Marion. Phenomenal question. And I'm going to answer that in just a second. Okay? Guys, I got to go just for a second. I'll be gone for 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to answer that. And I've got a bone to pick with some fans on Twitter tonight that I think you'll be interested in as well. So I'll be right back, okay? Okay. We just set up the lights. At first, I didn't set up the lights, and I thought it'd be okay, but I noticed like it was looking weird and dark and everything. So we just fix it back. Okay. We got the lights here. All right. So whoa, yeah, I don't like that though. That's fine. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, great question about Mahomes. I'm gonna post that because so people know what I'm addressing here. Okay, so Marion Jackson asked me again, What argument do you think the media will use to justify their Mahomes, the Mahomes is the face of this generation proclamation if Burrow wins the Super Bowl? Well, the thing is, they're going to find anything to justify Mahomes because he's going to win the MVP, and that right there. So every time a chosen one of the media wins something or does something, and they don't fulfill everything they're supposed to fulfill, like saying, "Oh, he's going to be the GOAT" or whatever. They change the parameters. They do all kinds of mental gymnastics to alter this, right? And they just move the goalpost constantly and say, "Oh, this, and this." It's not important anymore. Okay. So I'll give you an example. With Mahomes now, all of a sudden, playoff wins are a quarterback stat. Okay. So how long have we heard that winning wasn't a quarterback stat? Well, it was always a quarterback stat until Tom Brady. And then once Tom Brady came along and they wanted to discredit him, so they said, "Oh, winning is it's a team achievement." Okay. Well, now it's back because it fits their narrative, because Mahomes has more than all the other quarterbacks in the AFC combined. In fact, he has more than all of the other quarterbacks combined except for Tom Brady. And that's exactly what they posted. They said, if you remove Tom Brady, and Mahomes has got more playoff wins than all the quarterbacks combined, and he's only 27. Okay. That's nice. So first of all, we have to suspend reality and remove Tom Brady. So that's great. Second, what does that mean exactly? Tom was 9-0 and had won 3 Super Bowls by the time he was 27. So what are we talking about exactly? I just see. So they flip-flopped it. But to answer your question, if Joe Burrow wins, that would tie him with Mahomes for Super Bowl victories and Super Bowl appearances. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say that Super Bowls aren't important. MVPs are what matters. Just like that. Why? Because Mahomes will have had 2 by that point, and Burrow has none. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So that's what they'll say. They'll always change it. It doesn't matter. So no matter what, you'll see it moved around. So whatever argument they can come up with, they find new and inventive ways to change what the standards are. Again, I never heard so many of these different things until after the Patriots dynasty came along. But but going back to Jaguars and Chargers, so as much as we give credit to the quarterback for winning, you've got to blame the quarterback for losing too. So yes, Herbert does take some of the blame. He didn't play all that well in the second half. He missed some stuff in the first half, actually, despite them getting such good field position and all that, which was, of course, Asante Samuel Jr., by the way, phenomenal. I like how he does this just like his dad, right? He just stands there with his arms folded. I liked Asante Samuel Sr., the Patriots and Eagles defensive back. He also played with the Falcons for a little bit. But I like Asante Samuel, and I know Patriots fans hate him because he dropped the interception against Eli Manning. But come on, that pick wasn't the only reason they lost that Super Bowl. It never should have come down to that. It never should have. Okay, so that's a different thing. Yes, Asante needed to catch that interception, but it should have never ended up that way. There's so many things we could pick about that Super Bowl that could have been the difference maker. So, but I like seeing his son out there. He's a great player, man. Great player. Got just both him and his dad. They have a good feel for where the ball's going. They always in the right place at the right time. That's a gift. So, random Iowan Mapper, what's up? We got an Iowa citizen in the house. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, please, if you're new here. He says the Chargers are the Chargers. Justin Herbert is probably going to be Phillip Rivers 2.0. And see, damn it, that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want that to happen. And that's what I've been saying. It's like, God dang, how many quarterbacks are the Chargers going to produce that don't ever get to the final damn job, which is the Super Bowl? Okay, Dan Fouts. They had Drew Brees for a short time, and then idiots got rid of him, and then they had Phillip Rivers, and now they're going to do it to Herbert. It's just, yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Michael Williams says Wii bowling was cool. Yeah, I'd never. You know what? I was wrong. I have played a Wii before at a friend's house. We were playing tennis, and that was actually pretty fun. So I just remembered that. Austin Thomas says, even though Seahawks had a good season, there is no chance they don't go for a quarterback this offseason. Geno lost them the game with that fumble. Geno was never that guy. He was not going to win that for them. It's just, that was never going to happen. That was never in the cards, you know? So here's my feelings on it. I thought after they got rid of Russell Wilson, as an organization, they were like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is our down year. Maybe we need to find a quarterback. But they hired Geno Smith. They brought in him just to kind of be a placeholder until they can get to where they want to be in the post-Russell Wilson era. But all of a sudden, they beat Russell Wilson's Denver Broncos in week 1. And then off of that, they're like, you know what? Maybe we can do something here. And I don't even think they envisioned themselves being in the playoffs this year. So I think that was kind of like a happy accident sort of thing. So they're still going to go after a quarterback just as if they only had 4 wins or something. So that's not going to change. Yeah, bloody pleb. The media always covers it up when Mahomes chokes. Okay, so he didn't have a good game in the Super Bowl. Everyone knows that. But all you see is highlight reels of his incompletions. And I never thought you'd see that. That's crazy, right? So your failures are being given highlights, which is insane. So, but besides that, it's it's typical. One thing that annoys me is that so many people regarding the Super Bowl 55, they say, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes didn't have an offensive line. Okay, all right. I will buy that as an excuse for anyone who said that the Bucs were going to win because of it. But if you're a Chiefs fan or anybody out there that picked the Chiefs to win, you cannot say after they lose that, oh, he didn't have an offensive line. You can't say that. No, because evidently you picked the Chiefs, so you thought that wasn't a problem. Everyone knew the situation, okay? Everyone knew their situation, and you still picked them. And more people picked the Chiefs than even close picked the Bucs. So if you did that, you can't say anything about it. But hey, if you did say that was the reason why they're going to lose, then props to you, buddy. So. Man, I love it. It's rained all week here. It's awesome. Elvin Courage is a $5 super chat. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. He says, at James Johnson, I like how they're arguing between each other with super chats. Have you noticed that, Milena? Yeah. So James Johnson and Elf of Courage are actually having, for those of you guys who are new here, Elf of Courage and James Johnson are having an internal argument, and they're doing it through the super chat. So this is an interesting development. Elf of Courage says, at James Johnson, or you can win the Pro Bowl prize of the virtual boy. The virtual. Yeah, well, there you go. I think I skipped. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. I got it. Okay. Lanny Seals says, "Hey man, how awesome are those Chargers?" Yeah, no, it's not good. I mean, I feel bad for the fans and stuff. You know, they taken a beating, especially losing their team. There are hardly any Chargers fans in Los Angeles. They're all still in San Diego, which is where they belong. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks to be up and you think that you're going to win, and you are thinking about already. You're celebrating and you're all excited, and then boom, it just falls apart because of yeah, it's just. It sucks. It sucks for them. James Johnson sends a $2 super chat. He says, "I meant to say that 06 was worse." Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So, Brian J, welcome. Nice dog. Random Iowa guy says, "I feel like Brock Purdy is probably going to be a consistent starter in the NFL." You know what? That would be awesome to see, because I like guys who nobody really wanted. They kind of like an afterthought in the draft, and they get drafted normally as, oh, this guy will be a good practice squad player. This guy will be a good, scout team player and stuff. And that's why they hire them. They don't really get them thinking that they're going to ever be anything special. And then those guys go and they make something happen. And I love when we see that. So him being Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft, I think that's awesome to see, But I don't know what he's going to be able to do as time goes on. Let's find out, he's got a good team. The 49ers are a great team. But he is finally the quarterback that is making things happen with his arm. And he's actually getting things done. So they've always hit a wall the last few years, with Jimmy, and even with the short time with Trey. So it's yeah. Brock seems to be everything seems to be clicking for him. He seems to get it, and I hope he can sustain that for a while. I'm with you on that. So. Michael Williams, welcome. We have a lot of new people here tonight. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, tell me the team that you're rooting for and what you're rooting against your star and stuff like that, and I'll try to address it. Huh? And of course, like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. Thank you. So you got to stay on top of me about that stuff. Okay, I'm just catching up with you guys real quick. Yes, Michael Williams. Nick Wright would absolutely marry Mahomes if he could. It's sickening. Yeah, it is. Is Mike Miller talking to me? Or is that a conversation saying, why didn't I try out for the Texans coach? Or is he talking to somebody else? Oh, AM thinks I would look nice in a Texas outfit. That's nice. Thank you. Oh, so Iowa Mapper is a Broncos fan. Cool. Van the Man says, you forgot the mask, weirdo. What does that mean? I don't get it. But thank you for being here. Brady derangement syndrome is a real thing. Absolutely. Well, if MB Bloody Pleb says, if MVPs matter. Brady is still the GOAT. He's got 8. Well, yeah. But they'll only mention the MVPs matter in the argument against Burrow. So it just depends. Whatever the argument is to defend Mahomes against someone else, they will change those parameters, and it just all depends on that, on whatever it may be. So Gord King sends a $5 super chat. He says, I hit 120 subs, which means I'm 12% from monetization. This is an obvious sign that TB12 wins the Super Bowl. That's right. See, it's all in the cards. It's gematria. It's rigged. It's the Freemasons. They planned this for you, my friend. Absolutely. 187. Let me get a closer look on his. 49ers fan. Congratulations, 187, on your victory today. It was a good victory. Great victory, actually. It was a good game in the first half. Not a good game. It was a close game. Let's put it that way. But a blowout in the second half. And we all knew, we all picked the 49ers to go far in the playoffs. It's very obvious that they are one of the best teams in the NFL. So. Okay. Says I missed one, but I think I got it though. Yeah. So yeah, Gord King, not only that, the 12%, but we've got 12,000 subs. So there you go. It's written in the stars. And I had something to do with that, I promise. I told the guys at the lodge, I said, this is what we got to do. This is the spell we have to create, and this is how it's going to be. James Johnson sends a $2 super chat. He says, Gord King with 120 subs and VonAllen Sports with 12,000 subs. Cheers. See, exactly. It was written in the stars. Wish these icons were larger. AM says Tom Brady's rings don't count. They were all Mickey Mouse rings. Change my mind. I can't really change your mind when I don't know what the hell you're referring to. What does that even mean? Yeah, Michael Williams. They all picked the Chiefs and they got rolled, and you can't use that excuse, So, Tapasio, what's up? Haven't seen you here in a while. Where you been? Mahomes did. Kevin Garnett says, Mahomes did play like shit and hero balled like he was Kobe Bryant, but most of the Chiefs quit after the first quarter, and they all did after halftime. Yeah, they like I've said a million times, if Mahomes could read defenses at the time and he could just slow down and play his game and not try to worry about getting in a highlight reel, maybe they could have at least made it look more respectable. But had they made any kind of look like they were coming back at all, the Bucs would have put their foot back on the gas pedal, and they kind of pulled back a bit, So any one change in a game changes the other team as well. It changes the approach. So you can't, a lot of people say, oh, if this one thing had happened, then they would have won. Or, oh, they lost by field goal, so that missed field goal in the second quarter was the difference maker. And it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. If they made if someone made a field goal in the second quarter, then the other team will react differently based on the score in the fourth quarter. So it's just, at least, but I do think that had they done it that way, at least it would have made it more respectable. Michael Williams says Tom will eat the Cowboys up. God, I hope so. I hope so, man. Let's hope that's what we see. But you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Tom Brady on the Cowboys. You know, it's nothing against Dak Prescott. I like him, but I think that the scrutiny that Dak has been put under for so long, being the Cowboys quarterback, I think that's worn thin. I think he may need a new start anyway. So if they were to lose to the Bucs on Monday night, that may be a problem for him. So they may have to move on from that anyway. Cold Blue Water says, also, every voice in sports said when Brady joined Bucs that if he won Super Bowl 55, it would be his greatest achievement. Now it's all excuses. And that's exactly what's been happening. So, yep. But what about the torque that Herbert showed with that sidearm? I know, right? No torque there. James Johnson says, don't forget Brady had the most completions this season and set an NFL record by breaking his own record. And you know what? I can go to that. I can go to that when everyone says that, oh, he can't throw anymore and he's washed and all that. Well, you can bring that up. But as a side note, if I don't need to use that as a point against some moron who's saying things like this, that's not a stat that you want to lead the league in. Okay? Not generally. It's if you're leading the league in completions, it means that the entire team is reliant on you. It means that your running game is garbage. Okay? It means that your offensive line is probably garbage. So it means that you're using the short game. Okay? You're using screen passes and dump offs, things like that to running backs. You're using those as your running game. And that's not a good thing. Unless it's converting, but we've seen so many times that this doesn't always convert to winning. It doesn't convert to good football. You still need a running game. You still need that. And yeah, they're just throwing the ball everywhere. But it certainly shows that there's nothing wrong with him. It shows that there's nothing wrong with his arm. So if you're saying that, then yeah, point to the completions because that's a lot of throws. But it's not something that you want to have to do. So Houston Burnside, what's up, man? He says the 49ers probably have the most well-constructed team in the NFL. I would say on the NFC side, yes. On the AFC side, I'd say it's the Bengals, right? So that might be the Super Bowl. That may be the Super Bowl rematch. A third go around, and maybe the Bengals get their chance this time. Who knows? But that would be a great Super Bowl to watch. Yeah, Luke, the commentators do believe that Mahomes created the sidearm pass as if no one has ever done this before, and it's a common throw. I can pull up film from the 1940s of Giants quarterbacks doing this. That's how long this has been happening. So it's not a crazy thing. A lot of quarterbacks, especially back in the old days, were converted from baseball. And baseball was the national pastime in America. It was the game. It was the game everybody played. It was the game that you wanted to be a professional in. And if you couldn't do that, then you'd go to pro football. This was also an era where college football was actually bigger than pro football. But you become a pro and you throw sidearm. You throw sidearm because it's your instinct it's a baseball throw. It's not that crazy. I don't know why make a big deal out of it. You know who does a better side throw than Mahomes? It's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a better sidearm throw in my opinion. So, and he's playing right now. It's not like I don't have to bring up somebody from the past. So, and sidearm throws should only be used if you've got a wide open guy and you know that no one's in front of you and is going to bat that down. So it's not something you want to use all the time. And it's bad for your arm, by the way. So it's terrible for your arm. Baseball and football is much different when you're doing that motion, that sidearm motion. So eventually, it's what I've said, eventually Mahomes is going to have to tailor his game a bit in his throwing motion. He's going to have to, at some point, he's going to have to choose to be more conservative in his throwing motion and not so upper body centric. Okay. So everything about his throw is in the upper body, it's in the shoulders, and in his arms. All of that force is there. And his upper body is taking all of it. He's going to have to alter that at some point if he wants to continue throwing, in as much as he does. So you can't get away with throwing off your back foot your entire career. You won't be able to do that unless you have a short career. But right now, it's not a problem for him. He's making it work. So good for him, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying though that it's not something you want to continue forever. Yeah, Ryan Jensen might play. That's going to be huge. It's make a huge difference. And I know, Aaron is just the center. Well, do you know what the center's job is? But if you already knew that, Jensen offers more. Jensen is a nasty type of guy. Okay, he's the guy that is always. He's like the bully of the Bucs. He gets in arguments with the other team, and he gets them frustrated and gets them angry. And you need that kind of. They need that kind of attitude, and the Bucs don't have an attitude. They're missing Gronk, they're missing Jensen, they're missing that spirit and that vibe, and they're kind of lost, So that would be a great addition, aside from the obvious him as a center. So Kevin Godnett. Let's see here. Kevin Godnett with the $5 super chat. He says, Skull, Vikings, let's win this game. Skull, Vikings, honor your name. I picked the Vikings, Kevin. Picked the Vikings last night to win. I think they're going to get it done. I know they're hard to trust. I get that, and I understand it. But I am not that high on the Giants. I think the Giants are still a year away from actually being a serious problem for the NFC. I think they're so close, but they're not there yet. And the Vikings, I just think, are a bit better than them. I just don't think it's the Giants' time right now. I like their coach. I like, how they play, but it's just they're not there yet. So I think you're going to be fine. The Vikings are going to take care of business in Minnesota at home. No worries. They're good. The Argonauts. This isn't the Canadian Football League. What's up, Cohan Jared? Okay, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Okay. Time for playoff Lenny to show up. Well, let's hope. Stafford is overrated. Of course he is. Absolutely, I agree. Alpha Courage. Alpha Courage, by the way, I'm having fun with that wallpaper, man. Your name and your icon there opens up a lot of possibilities for some fun artistic expression there. So it's awesome. Alpha Courage, since a $5 super chat, he says they'll argue it's only regular season MVPs that matter. Exactly. So when you say that Tom has 8 MVPs, they'll say, well, the Super Bowl MVPs don't matter. But then they can only do that if Mahomes passes regular season. So Mahomes would need 4, as Tom's got 3. So And that's what they did for Aaron Rodgers. They've been doing that for Aaron Rodgers. It's the same thing. So I just don't understand why anybody has to be called the GOAT other than the actual GOAT. I don't know why they have to do that. All it does is open up your quarterback to scrutiny, comparing them. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. You know, if I was a fan of, say I was a Chiefs fan, okay, and my quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, right? I would never compare him to Brady unless I am doing it in a complimentary way towards Brady and making sure that it's obvious that I'm not saying that Mahomes is the same. I wouldn't do that. I would just show things from Mahomes as independent stats. But so many people will put a stat for Mahomes that's an achievement, which is good, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. And if you guys notice, I don't attack those. I don't go after those. It's the ones that have a but Tom Brady only this or Tom Brady that, or if we remove Tom Brady, and they do that crap, right? I don't know why they have to do that. So, but they do it. And I wouldn't try that. So, and not just with Tom. Don't do that with any of the legends that are clearly better. They have a better resume than you, than the guy you're promoting. Just wait. Just let it happen. Let his career happen. So. Austin Thomas asks, why did the Rams destroy the best uniforms in the league? I know, it's awful. The uniforms that the Rams wore in the 2018 season, both home and away, okay, were phenomenal. The away uniforms that they wore in the Super Bowl, amazing, okay? The home uniforms with the white helmet in the Rams, awesome. Okay, they had it perfect in 2018. Completely screwed it up. Now their logo looks like some local morning show in LA here. Like, good morning, LA. Wake up, have a cup of coffee. Good morning, LA. The sun is shining. And it looks like one of those logos. It's absolutely atrocious. The coloring is garbage. It looks like they're trying to be the Chargers, but it's like someone got drunk and was trying to mimic the Chargers and screwed up and didn't understand coloring. So it's terrible. Staph infection. That's funny. Israel says, why can't I freaking drop a super chat? Aaron, this whole time I haven't been able to. Really? Are you doing anything different than you had before? Are you on maybe a different device or something? Anything at all changed? Is there a credit card on file? Well, just post what you were going to say and I'll read it. It's cool. You always super chat. It's fine. Kevin Godnet replied to my reply of his super chat. He says, fair enough. More so meant that as an explanation of why Mahomes played the way he did, not an excuse. Reed also not an excuse. Reed also coached a pretty bad game plan. Oh, I know what you meant. You gave me an opportunity to expand on it, and I took it. So. Yeah, Gord King, regarding Bosa, he did have a legit complaint, but you don't throw your helmet on the field. That's just stupid. Yeah, he did it twice. Go to the sidelines. You want to throw your helmet. It doesn't matter. You can do that, okay? But you can't do it on the field. Torque. Yep, Michael Williams, Tom wins every other year, and this is the odd year since 2014. So you got to keep that going. 50% of the time, Brady wins every time. I like that. I like that stat. Gord King, stat that. That's so annoying. Stat that. All right, I'm getting caught up here now. You guys are fast. Shapilier, welcome. He says Damian Williams and Tyrann Mathieu were robbed of Super Bowl MVP. You referring to Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl 54, of course. Absolutely. You could do either one of them. You could go with Tyreek if you want. I don't care. Anybody. So Mahomes was not the MVP of Super Bowl 54, in my opinion. But name recognition helps with things like this. You got to remember, a lot of the voting is from media people, I think. And I know they say that they count fan voting and stuff, but who knows how much that has anything to do with anything. But even fan voting probably would skew that a bit. So if you're new here, guys, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and trust me, you'll love it here. We are a tight knit group, a family of football lovers here, and I think you'll enjoy it. I know Minnesota chokes a lot, but I don't think they will this time. Colehan Jared. Let's see here. Colehan Jared says MVPs don't mean squat if you can't win the Super Bowl. They look good on a resume. They look good on a all-time resume, but you need the Super Bowl to go with it. You need the other stuff. So you're absolutely correct. It's got to have that extra there. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it in the same year or anything, but it does mean that you need those other things too. We need to see that not only do you win Super Bowls for your team, but you're also the best player at some point during your career. If you can't even show that you're not the best player in the league, that's a question as well. You know, it's like Eli Manning, for example. Eli Manning may have 2 Super Bowls, and they may be against the Patriots. But he has never been the best quarterback in the league. He's never even been close to the best quarterback in the league. In fact, he's got more awards for throwing picks than ever being close to being a good quarterback in the league. So he has, the balance is not there. In the same way with winning MVPs, but no Super Bowls. You don't want that either. You don't want the opposite. Now, the Hall of Fame selects things differently than I would, of course. There's a lot of people that I would remove from the Hall of Fame and not let in the future, but going by their standards, who knows, right? Like if when it comes to Drew Brees, I know Drew never got a MVP. He did get All Pro, but I'd rather see the Super Bowl for him because I know he got the All Pro. So he was at least the best quarterback in the league at the time. So maybe he wasn't the best player, quote unquote, however you want to look at it. But he at least has the Super Bowl MVP as well to go along with that. So that's what I'd like to see when it comes to MVPs, a regular season MVPs, that is. This is funny. Alpha Courage is a $5 super chat. He says, thank you, man. You guys are on fire tonight. He says, imagine a Chargers-Vikings Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl with 2 losers. Yeah. That would be interesting. But I think the Vikings would actually win that one. Honestly. So I believe in Kirk Cousins, man. Come on. Kirk's a good dude. We have to support him. We have to believe in him. Come on. You guys are crazy tonight. Look at this. How many comments? I'm just catching up. I just want to make sure I read everything you guys say. Farhan, welcome. Love having new people here. Please like and subscribe. I think you'll enjoy being here, man. Farhan is a Raiders fan. Awesome. We need a Raiders fan. We only have one, which is Z, and he needs a friend. So welcome, Farhan. Raiders. He says, thank you, Jags, for beating the Bolts. Absolutely. And I thought it was so cold how the Raiders could have just tied the game at the end of the regular season last year, and both of them could have gone to the playoffs. And instead, the Raiders went for the field goal went for the victory and kicked the Chargers out. And I thought that was pretty awesome. So, good job. Deion, yeah, he did play. Deion Sanders did play all 3 aspects of the game. You're right. Of course, he was the man on special teams and defense, but offense, he played. It was okay. It was okay. But Deion is the GOAT of defensive backs, in my opinion. Mike, again, are you talking to me or are you talking to people in the chat? Please, guys, if you're talking to me directly, put @VonAllen, because it's going to confuse me. Because I say certain things and I know you guys have conversations as well, which is fine. I'm just saying though that if you're wanting me to address it, so, Mike, if you're talking about, you asked, so is Troy Aikman better than Aaron? He's got 3 rings. And Terry Bradshaw, is that referring to what I was saying earlier, or are you talking to somebody else? Just let me know. Damn, James. Thank you, man. Look at this. James Johnson already sent a $100 super chat. He sent a $100 super chat last night, and now he sent $20 super chat. He says Mahomes needs to have a dynasty, which at least 3 or 4 within 10 years. At least 3 MVPs, multiple Super Bowl MVPs, and dominate his conference or league, of course, for at least a decade before we can consider a GOAT conversation. He is 0-2 in the playoffs directly against the GOAT. He already can't live that down. That is already a screw up. He's already behind in that aspect. Okay, James, since you sent a $20 super chat, I'm going to expand on this a little more. Regarding Mahomes and how people are talking about him. There is a guy from a thing called Fansided or whatever, and he's got a lot of followers on Twitter, so it got a lot of responses and people agreeing with it and stuff. So I'm going to read to you what it says real quick. I'm not going to give you his name. I'm not going to promote this moron. So. Okay. So he posts, Patrick Mahomes has won 8 playoff games in his career, right? Every other AFC starting quarterback in these playoffs have won 7 postseason games combined. If you take Tom Brady out, and Mahomes has only won 1 less playoff game than the entire bracket, and he's 27 years old. Okay, so this prompted a bunch of idiotic comments like this one. Well, if Mahomes plays till he's 50, I'm sure he can match that too. And I'm going to spare you from all the other ones, but there's a lot of comments in that area that's similar to that one, basically, right? Here's something that I need to get through to people. Mahomes right now we're talking about a timeline of trying to catch Brady or even catch, he's not even caught a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, he's not even there yet. So it's ridiculous. But let's just focus on this guy's tweet, right? And for him to do this, Mahomes is in the time frame of a great elite quarterback, dynasty, whatever you want to call it, okay? He's in the easy part of what I call the Tom Brady problem or the Tom Brady equation, whatever you want to call it, okay? I like to call it the Tom Brady problem. The Tom Brady problem is this. There are so many quarterbacks who have had runs like this. Those runs are, this is the easy part. And I put easy in quotations, okay? The easy part as in a short frame of time, you have pretty much the same team with the same energy, the same goal, the same vision, probably the same coach, all of those things combined, okay? Similar coaching staffs. Everything is cohesive and working in your favor. So this is the easy part of that. The nearly impossible part of this is doing it later on, is doing it when the team has completely changed. So this guy says, oh, if Patrick Mahomes plays till 50, he magically will do that too, as if that's a given, as if the secret to winning 7 Super Bowls and owning the record for most playoff wins and every other record you can imagine, the secret is just simply just to play a long time, okay? This is the thinking they have. It's because they've seen Tom do it that they think that it's just attainable, because they go, well, Patrick Mahomes, he looks better on film than Tom Brady, so he must naturally have a chance to win more. That's it. That's the mindset for these people. It's just that simple, okay? But you have to do it with different teams. When you last that long, you have to do it with things changing. The quarterback is always going to outlast the rest of his teammates. Okay? The changeover is going to be insane. He's also going to outlast a lot of the assistant coaches. He's going to outlast everybody. A lot of times he's going to outlast the coach. Now, in Mahomes' case, he's definitely going to outlast Andy Reid. Andy Reid is already old, and he's about 2 cheeseburgers away from a heart attack. I'm not even kidding, okay? The guy admits it. He admits he eats like crap, okay? He eats terribly. So that's not always going to be there. Kelsey is not going to be there forever, all right? These are not knocks. I'm not knocking Patrick. I'm just stating a fact that there's going to come a time where Patrick is alone on the Chiefs. It's going to be new coach, new coaching staff, new players around him. Everything's going to be different. That's the hard part, okay? So every legendary quarterback has had the so-called easy part of the Tom Brady equation, which is get off to a good start, keep that dynasty together, keep those people together. That's okay. So Russell Wilson had that with the Legion of Boom. As long as the Legion was together, he had that. That was going for him. But look what happened when everything changed and it was just him alone. He even had the same head coach, and still they ran into trouble because it's difficult. That's not a knock against Wilson. That is me stating how hard this is. Okay? It doesn't last forever. And we're talking, it's even worse. It's even more difficult in the post-salary cap era because the turnover is crazy. When you win a Super Bowl, your team generally gets picked pretty badly. If you win multiple Super Bowls, you get picked clean in no time. It's very difficult just to get 3 Super Bowls out of the same core group of people. And that's what has to be done. Patrick's only got one. I say only, but in this scenario of trying to catch the GOAT, it is only one, right? So, yeah, this is the part you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get off to a good start if you want to chase the GOAT. That's how it's supposed to be. Well, Tom Brady got off to a good start too. Like I said, by the time he was 27, he was 9-0 and had 3 Super Bowl rings and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So you need to get started like that. Kurt Warner had a great start. And Kurt ended up on a completely different team, and he almost won the Super Bowl, but he couldn't get it. He couldn't close the deal. But it just shows you how difficult it is. Peyton Manning, as excellent as Peyton Manning was, as amazing as he was, could only get 2 wins, could only get 2 Super Bowl wins. 06 was his first one. 06 was sloppy. It's very reminiscent of Patrick's first one, okay? They had a great team. They had a great team that entire time, and they couldn't get past the Patriots. There was always something, and they finally did, but it's not like Peyton lit up the scoreboard or anything. In fact, he is the second worst quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP. He was the worst until Patrick's performance of the Super Bowl 54, which is now the worst. When Peyton got his second chance, when it was all about him, all about his offense, they lost to the Saints. When it was all about him again on a different team in Denver, and he had this record-setting offense in 2013, they got blown out by the Seattle Seahawks. And then, finally, in 2015, he was on a team where it wasn't about him, it wasn't about his arm, but it was a complete team around him. And they were able to get the victory. All of the things that Peyton Manning's achieved, 5 MVPs, a long, long career, having good teams, being as excellent as he was, and he could only pull 2 rings out of it. Now, you tell me if what Tom is doing is reasonable to ask of any quarterback, anyone. It's ridiculous, man. I remember a time where I used to think about Michael Jordan winning 6 championships, and I thought that is just insane. That's not supposed to happen in this era now, in the modern era. Okay, and I'm talking about back in the 1950s, 60s, whatever. All right, I'm talking in the modern era. That seemed impossible. Then Kobe Bryant did it. He got 5. Okay, and look what it took for Kobe to get that. It took Phil Jackson. It took great teams with him. And he got 5, and that seemed crazy. The idea that a quarterback, a football player, could reach Jordan and get 6 Super Bowls, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. It shouldn't compute. It shouldn't make sense. Not only did Tom get 6, he got 7. And he did it with a different team as well. Completely different team, a different organization. But when he was on the Patriots, he created 2 separate dynasties with only the head coach being the same person. But everything else was different. His first 3 Super Bowls, different offensive coordinator. Charlie Weiss was the coordinator. Different defensive coordinator. Romeo Crennel. Then his second dynasty. It's all one dynasty, but I mean the second grouping of Super Bowls. Completely different people. Different way of doing things, different philosophy, just different. And he did that. This is not a knock on Patrick. This is me pointing out how difficult this is and nearly impossible to achieve. You can say all you want about, oh, the game is different now. It's more quarterback driven, whatever. Okay? Well, that doesn't matter much. Winning is winning. Remember, whatever benefit Patrick gets as a quarterback, his defense or his counterpart has the same. Okay? So his counterpart quarterback is playing under the same rules as well. Winning is winning. Winning in any era. And that's why I go by that. That's why I say, are you the best of your era? I can't compare 2 side by side. I in the Montana versus Brady documentary, I didn't go to town on Joe Montana's not having enough touchdowns, not having enough completions or enough yards. Okay? I didn't do that. I didn't do a side by side and try to say, see, look, you know? Because that's unfair because they're different eras. What mattered was individual accolades and being the best of your era and how far apart were you from everyone else. That's how you look at it. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate that, man. Oh, you're talking best NFL athlete ever? I think of Dion generally when I think of best athlete. He comes to mind at almost immediately. But there are others too if I really started thinking about it. So yeah, so regarding the Montana Brady thing that you guys were talking about, which looks like it was 20 minutes ago. Apparently, I went on a long rant just now. But what you guys are referring to is when Brady became the GOAT, when he passed Joe Montana, right? Technically speaking, it was when he got his 4th, okay? Because that made him 4 out of 6. He'd been to more. He had all the other records, and you know, I'm pretty sure he had more than Joe with everything else already. So at that point, He had 2 MVPs just like Joe. So really the difference maker was the extra Super Bowl appearances and small career differences here and there. Okay. However, I wasn't comfortable with that. I wasn't comfortable with it only because Joe had the undefeated, the 4-0 thing, which obviously 6 is better than 4. But I knew that people were going to bring this up. I knew people were going to talk about that and constantly try to drive it home and say that. So I wasn't comfortable with him having just 4. It needed to be 5 for it to be locked down completely. Just lock it, throw away the key. It's over. This conversation's finished. He got his 5th in spectacular fashion, crazy fashion. He added another MVP to his resume. So now he's got 3 regular season MVPs. He won again in 2018. Then he won again with a new team in 2020, something that Joe Montana couldn't do. Now, he did well. Joe did take the Chiefs to an AFC Championship game. So that's commendable. That's awesome, okay? And I bring that up a lot when I'm defending Joe against other quarterbacks. But Tom put it to bed, okay? If 5 wasn't good enough for you, which it should be, I don't know why 5 wouldn't do it. 6 didn't do it for you? Okay, well, if 6 didn't do it for you, how the hell does 7 not do it for you? So I don't know what the hell's going on here. But nobody is passing that. It's not going to happen. It's just not. The only way it could is if they got rid of the salary cap and one team could be the New York Yankees and just stack everything constantly. And even that might not even work. But I guess at least you'd have a chance maybe. So you got to think about it. It's for Tom to get to 7, think about all the things that had to go right. Okay, had to go correctly. Every little detail. Look at every playoff game. Just so many things had to go this way or that way. Now, just as easily, he could be 10-0 in Super Bowls. The 3 he lost were by very small margins, so little things here could make him 10-0. But little things can also make him 1-9. That's how hard this is. It's very difficult. And Chiefs fans, I know they're excited and stuff, but they need to take these things into account. Mahomes already better than Manning. I certainly hope you're talking about Eli Manning. Erwin Torres, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. Frankie Aravalo, welcome. Says, get over it. Cinderella story ends next week. Get over what? Oh, he probably thinks this is a Jaguars channel. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is mediocre. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to end up being a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I just don't like him being compared to saying that he's going to be the GOAT and all this stuff. This is absolutely ridiculous. So he's not even a top 10 quarterback yet. He might not even be top 15. I'd have to really, really look at it and give it some thought. He just needs time. Doesn't mean that he's not going to get there. He just needs time. Let's see. Let's see what happens, you know? So but my God, no, I don't think anybody here thinks that Mahomes is mediocre. Who thinks that? That's crazy. Now, anyone who thinks that is probably just hating, I guess. So, mediocre? Yeah, no. That'd be a ridiculous statement to make. Cool Hand Jared sends a $5 super chat. And Cool Hand Jared, congrats on 3 months being a member. He says, let's see here. Pull this up just a bit. He says, pop quiz. What Hall of Fame wide receiver holds the record for most career consecutive starts? I love quizzes. This is fun. In fact, over in the off season, we're going to bring that back. So career. So think of a quarterback or think of a wide receiver that never missed. Now, at least Hall of Fame narrows it down. I'm going to say either Steve Largent or Jerry Rice. Let's see. Yeah, the problem for Patrick is that he does need to have a good performance in the Super Bowl. That's going to be really important as well. So, like Tom has that one downer, that one in 2018, that they won 13-3. He did not have his best game, in that one, but despite Patrick winning MVP in his first one, he was not good. Yeah, Gord King. Brady said Brady hit 9 playoff wins in a row and much faster. Absolutely. But they were trying to say about 27 as if this is some kind of, that's never happened before, you know? So. No, they're not a dynasty at all. But I was using the term dynasty loosely, as in potential, like potentially like a team that's constantly in the mix and winning and just like always around, but they are not an actual dynasty. No. Now, Chiefs fans think they are, but no. Nope. Dynasty, you need three Super Bowls generally to be considered that. Yeah, Luke, that is a weird thing, by the way. Luke says that it's weird when Pats fans praise Bill by claiming his roster is trash, too trash to be good. Yeah, who's responsible for that? And I've said this a lot on Twitter with several people who've made that argument, and I'm thinking one guy said, "Well, if you give Belichick Tampa Bay Bucks roster, he'd win the Super Bowl too." Who is responsible for the Patriots roster? Bill Belichick. He made the roster the way it is. He's the one that decides it. Why would you give him a different roster? Why would you give him a different quarterback? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. He picked the team he wanted. That's the team he wanted. You can't use that. It's not like he's some quarterback that's at the mercy of the people put around him. You can't use the quarterback argument for the head coach who's also the general manager. It makes no sense. Yeah, random Iowan Mapper. You said Peyton Manning was benched for a few games in his last season, and Brock Osweiler could have probably won the Super Bowl with that team. I don't know. I mean, I know that Peyton wasn't coming off the stat sheet, but Peyton also gets them in the right position, makes the correct decisions at the line, still makes the defense worry and confused, and just his overall presence being there is a difference maker. The locker room presence. So I don't know. I'm not so sure that. In fact, I don't think the Denver Broncos win the game against the Patriots. I think the Patriots end up playing the Carolina Panthers. I just, if you go back and watch that game, I think Denver barely won, but there's a lot to be said for leadership and things like that. So I don't know if I agree on that one. Did we ever get an answer on who the wide receiver was? Luke says Sammy Baugh. That's true. Sammy Baugh played a lot of positions. Those guys were Iron Men back in those days. Yeah. Actually, if we're going that way, Gord King, Jimmy Garoppolo has more rings than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if we're playing that game, the backup quarterbacks. Israel. Oh, he's super chatting now. Cool. Glad that got worked out. Awesome. Israel, since the $2 super chat, he says Chiefs fans are the reason why the OT rule changed. Yes. In fact, it got changed the first time because of Brett Favre and the Vikings. So after that, they didn't. I don't think they complained. I think that they just saw that there was potential for more dramatic games and make it more interesting in overtime instead of just the first one who gets the ball and then kicks a field goal and it's over. So they changed it then, and then the change from a touchdown makes the difference. You still get the instead of the touchdown used to make the difference. So if you score a touchdown, the other guy didn't get a possession. They changed that for the Chiefs because the Chiefs did complain. They did whine about it. And Patrick didn't get the ball in 2018. So I also have to point out that rules don't get changed for the Patriots, but they do get changed against the Patriots. So the Colts complained. Tony Dungy, one of the most overrated coaches in NFL history, Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning and them, they complained that they couldn't beat the Patriots basically, and they wanted coverage details changed so they could win. So it would favor their offense. And they got it changed. And look how that worked out. So, yeah. It's whatever is a better way to try to screw Brady and the Patriots over. That's basically what the rule was for a while, along with Deflategate and everything else. So. Yeah, he saw the Jaguars logo. Yeah, because you can't see the rest of it. That's true. Okay. Well, I'm fine with that. I don't care if he thinks I'm a Jaguars fan for tonight. Fine, I am. I'm a Jaguars fan right now, damn it. Go Jacksonville. Woohoo! Right, Milena? Go Jags. Do they even have a chant? If I don't even know. If they do, then I would do it. There we go. Okay. Bla- Excuse me. Blacker 58. Yeah, I was thinking that Jerry, he had a pretty long consecutive streak after that, didn't he? I don't know. That's true. So maybe I'll go with, I don't know. That's actually really hard. Did we ever get an answer on that, Milena? Diane Tincher. What's up, Diane? See, guys, she's a real person. See, Diane made it a long way into the quarterback formula tournament. She made it all the way to the conference finals. And because Diane isn't that vocal on here, and so people are like, is she a real person? Like, of course she's a real person. I've talked to her many times. In fact, Diane is a former Texans fan. And I say former because she got tired of watching them be garbage all the time. And I can't blame her. Okay. How arrogant is it of an organization to constantly put bad product on the field, not give a crap, and expect their fans to pay high ticket prices, to pay full price for jerseys and shirts and all kinds of stuff like that, and constantly be let down all the time? If you don't care as an organization, why should the fans? And so I say, welcome anybody who feels like that. But Diane saw the greatness of Tom Brady. She saw how awesome it was. And she's like, you know what? I want to hitch my wagon to that. And I don't blame her. Well done, Diane. And she's celebrating 19 months of membership. And she says, what is your dream Super Bowl matchup in February? Well, obviously the Bucks would be amazing on the NFC side. But on the AFC side, I would like it to be the either the Bills or the Bengals. I think the Bills. I think that'd be fun. Because I look at it this way. It's all about if you lose, whoever the winner is not going to be somebody that pisses you off, right? It's not going to be somebody that's annoying and going to get on your nerves. And I felt that way, for example, in 2016 when it looked like the Patriots were going to lose. They were getting blown out. I never gave up, and I even commented on Facebook. I said, we're going to make a comeback. It's going to be the biggest story of all time. I even got that time stamped and everything. But I was just having, wishful thinking and trying to be positive. Didn't actually think that it was possible. But so there was a time, quite a bit of time during that Super Bowl that I thought, okay, the Patriots are going to lose this one. That sucks. And I thought, you know what? But it's okay. Matt Ryan's going to win. That's fine. And I was okay with that. And it made it much easier. And then there's those times where you're playing against the Giants and you don't want to see Eli Manning raising another Lombardi trophy in your face. And that's hard to deal with. Okay. Or watching the Patriots, had they lost to Donovan McNabb and the Eagles, that would have been difficult as well. But this one wouldn't bother me. I'm a Josh Allen fan. I'm also a Joe Burrow fan. So either way, it'd be fine with me. I think it'd be interesting to see the Bills win, only because of they lost 4 straight in the 90s. And that fan base is so tortured and they're so crazy about their team and about the Bills that it would be kind of fun to watch that fan base and to watch the Bills win something like that. And it has nothing to do with DeMar Hamlin's injury, by the way. It doesn't even matter. I'm not factoring that in. Way too much has been made about that. People have gone way too far, especially athletes. So that's not a factor. Just pretend like that didn't exist. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. So Bills or Bengals is what is what I think versus the Bucks. And if it's not the Bucks, then I would like to see the 49ers against them. So the 49ers Bengals rematch or 49ers Bills would be good for me. So. Elf of Courage sends a $5 super chat. He says, "Can you also put this stream on the Xbox flash drive?" Absolutely, I can. Yeah, sure thing. So the flash drive I actually don't have yet. It's in production, so I won't get it. I think I checked the tracking on it. I think it said it will be ready. I'll have it by the 20th, 22nd, something like that. Because they're being custom made, so they have the VonAllen Sports logos and everything on them. So absolutely, I can put any of the shows you want. So I could put this entire season if you would like. This I don't know if every live show I've ever had would fit. If I gave you every live show, I'd have to send you a like an external hard drive, like a different one. The flash drive wouldn't be able to hold them all. But I could definitely give you entire season 4, which this current season is season 4 of VonAllen Sports Live, and it's the one where you've been very active and all that. So we could do that too. Oh, it's Tim Brown. Nice. Cool. It was a great super chat. I love trivia stuff like that. Okay. For those of you just listening, not watching, I'm just trying to catch up in the comments here, so we're on the same page. Reading is fundamental. Welcome, my friend. It says Lamar is not 1-4 in the playoffs. You obviously don't know anything and are just guessing. You sound stupid. Someone in the chat must have been talking about Lamar. I never brought Lamar up. But okay, welcome though. Josh Montez, welcome. Oh, Josh Montez was the one that said that. He corrected himself. He said 1-3. So it's okay. It's okay. No need to get crazy. He corrected himself. Yeah, Austin Thomas, you got a good point there about the Bills with the DeMar situation. It went so insane. It's kind of annoying that they canceled the game and all that. It is a bit strange. Is it Jaguars or the more pretentious Jaguars? Milena, how is it that you pronounce them again? I say the Jaguars. Milena pronounces it Jaguars. 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 Okay. Yes, Luke. Where is Ramsey's, by the way? Ramsey's favorite team is the Cincinnati Bengals or the Detroit Lions. Which one was it? Is the Bengals? Yeah. Yeah, Ramsey's favorite team is the Bengals, of course. Of course, Amelia, my black cat, her favorite team is the Carolina Panthers. And Isabel's team, her favorite team is, I don't give a shit. I like the fact that people know my cats. That's awesome. What's up, Ken? Ken Flagler, welcome. James Johnson, still tearing it up tonight. He's given me some Nightwalker nuclear vibes today, right? James Johnson sends a $10 super chat. He says, Chiefs didn't get the ball in OT in 2018 AFC Championship game and lost. But they also got the ball in the 2021 divisional versus the Bills and won. But then got the ball and threw it an interception and lost to the Bengals in the AFC title game. Absolutely true. And when they lost, when they beat the Bills and they got the ball, I said, well, I guess Chiefs fans are happy now, right? So there you go. But they absolutely, they got their way. They got their way last year against the Bengals, and it didn't work out, did it? So too bad. Thank you, James. I appreciate that, man. Diane coming in with her first super chat. Thank you, Diane, so much. Appreciate it. She sends in a $2 super chat. She says, wow, I agree. Bengals, and she says, Bills have never won a Super Bowl. They have not. They went to 4 straight. But in the early 90s, but they lost all 4. Is Lamar Jackson a franchise quarterback? Well, okay. To me, a franchise quarterback is someone who is going to be around for an extended amount of time. I'm saying, at least 8 to 12 years, and can carry the franchise through bad times as well, right? When things aren't so good. Lamar's game is so based heavily on the run and on his legs that it's going to be difficult to stay healthy. And it's the Michael Vick thing all over again, okay? And could you say Michael Vick was a franchise quarterback for the Falcons? Okay, maybe, I guess. But he was never there. How many games did he miss? So I don't know what you call that exactly. And I just wish Lamar would focus more on throwing the ball from the pocket and less reliant. I know that's his game. I get it. Okay, I get it. But we're talking longevity here. If he's wanting a contract, right? Well, the Ravens are hesitant to give him the money because of this, because of the injury bug. Now, well, I wouldn't lock him up for that long unless he could change his game, unless I believed he could, because I would be concerned about injuries constantly. And is he good at what he does? Oh, he's phenomenal at what he does. But this is the NFL, and it's just too hard to keep that. So I guess I don't really know how to answer that question, is if he is a franchise quarterback. But I don't think I would give him record-setting money and guaranteed money. I wouldn't do that. I would just franchise tag him every year. I know I'd be paying a lot per year, but he is worth that. So if I have to franchise tag him and I have to pay him like $40 million or something, I can live with that. I can do that. But I don't want to have to owe him $200 million guaranteed for the next whatever amount of years, and then he only play in half those games. That would suck too. So I just keep franchise tagging him. He'd make a lot of money though if he stays healthy, if he stayed healthy through that. So all the time. Yeah, it's unfortunate about Watson before, because he was playing really good football, and he was, I think he was at Mahomes level as far as, ability and stuff. And then we got to see if he can get back, like you're saying. So we'll see next year. Should Baltimore pay Lamar or let him walk? Like I said, I know you typed that already before I answered your question, but you franchise tag him. If he holds out on you, well, there's nothing you can do. But you franchise tag him. I think that's what you should do every year. Just keep doing it. So, and if he doesn't want to play, then you trade him. There you go. But I am never going to give guaranteed long-term deal to a quarterback whose primary skill is running. It's too dangerous. It's not going to work. No matter how good he is at it. The mistake Baltimore made, if they go this route, is that they moved off from the Flacco offense and the Flacco way of doing things with a pocket passer, and then they moved it and changed it to the Lamar Jackson style. So if they're willing to change those things, but again, I think the best road is just to stay what you're doing, keep what you have, and franchise tag him. He's going to make a lot of money either way. So nobody's going to weep for Lamar Jackson, so. Well, it wasn't about work ethic with what I'm talking about between Michael Vick and Lamar. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to not being available. That's my concern. I have a lot of respect for how he changed his game seemingly over the offseason between 2018 and 2019. I remember after 2018, everyone was saying Lamar can't throw, he can't pass, blah, blah, blah. And then he worked really hard on it. And then he came back in 2019 and won MVP. And I thought that was awesome. And I praised him quite a bit on this show for that. I'm always impressed by guys who take something that they don't think they're good at, or people challenge them and say they can't do something, and then they turn around and they say, "Here, look at me. Look, I told you I could do it," and shut people up. I love that kind of stuff. So, but the injury problem is the thing that would freak me out if I was an owner. Yeah, Kyler Murray. The Cardinals are idiots. I cannot believe they paid Kyler Murray. That just shows you how dumb they are. He's exciting to watch, I'll tell you that much, though. Lamar. Not Kyler. I'm talking about Lamar. But I think he's going to have the same fate as Cam Newton. I think it's going to be awesome for a short amount of time, a brief amount of time, and then it's going to kind of go badly at the end. That's what happened to Cam. He took too many hits. He got lit up way too much. But he is a great player overall. I mean, like what he does at what he does. Yeah, the Cardinals fired their coach, and it was the coach that was kind of a package deal with Kyler. So that's kind of interesting, right? So, okay, I finally caught up here. All right. So, guys, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, right? You guys going to be here with me? I have a lot of good games tomorrow night. 3 games in a row starting early, 10 a.m. my time. Okay. So, let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to mention? Do I think Josh Allen rushes too much? Yes, I do. Yes. Yep. Playoffs? Talk about playoffs? By the way, Tony Dungy is so overrated. Oh my God. Okay? It's unbelievable. His commentating for the Jags-Chargers game tonight was so bad. It was absolutely pathetic. The guy does not know football, okay? And then when you go on Twitter, you criticize him, everyone says, oh, well, you don't have a Super Bowl ring. You don't have... It's like, whatever, man. He barely has one, okay? It's just... He is not... and the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame is completely ridiculous. Oh, Aaron, but he invented the Tampa 2 defense. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Monty Kiffin did. And the little bit that Tony Dungy added to that was stuff he stole from Chuck Noll and the Steelers back in the 70s. The guy doesn't know anything, okay? He's completely overrated. He had a great roster in Tampa Bay. John Gruden had to come in and actually get the job done because they couldn't get it done. And then everybody tries to give John Gruden's Super Bowl ring to Tony Dungy. I'm sorry. Are we doing participation Super Bowl rings now? Is that how this works? Exactly. I mean, just tell me. Is that what we're doing? Because if we're going to hand those out, then we could just go back and rewrite history. All right. So does Bill Belichick's first set of rings, do they belong to Bill Parcells or Pete Carroll? I'm just wondering. Just let me know if that's the case, if that's what we're doing, if we're giving rings over to previous coaches who couldn't close the deal. All right? No, I care about guys who can close the deal, who can get the job done. I'm sorry, but when you have a guy like Peyton Manning and you have one Super Bowl appearance, just one, and then once you realize that time is running out on you and this thing might not go the way you want it to go, you run away, which was a bad decision, by the way, as far as I'm concerned, because that 2009 Colts team was phenomenal. But the fact that Tony Dungy is in the Hall of Fame is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me read you some names here, okay? If Tony Dungy is a Hall of Famer, legitimately, then so is Bruce Arians. He's going to go, right? Mike Holmgren, got to put Mike in there. Mike has coached in 3 Super Bowls. Won 1, coached in 3. Again, Tony Dungy, 1 Super Bowl appearance. 1. You add one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and you've got 1. Okay? How about George Seifert? 2 Super Bowl rings. Okay? 2 Super Bowl rings. One with Joe Montana, one the other with Steve Young. Okay? So when you got guys like that, you got to win. All right? You have to make it happen. Tom Coughlin, 2 rings with Eli freaking Manning. Are you kidding me? The guy won 2 Super Bowls with Derp. All right? Mike Shanahan saved John Elway's career. Absolutely helped him. Terrell Davis, of course, as well. But Mike Shanahan has 2 rings. We got to throw Mike in there now, right? How about Gary Kubiak? Why not? Why not? Hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring too. Look at him go. Sean Payton. Let's put Sean Payton in there. John Harbaugh. We got to throw John in there, right? Bishop Desmond Tutu. He's awesome. Okay. Michael Landsberg. Amazing. Ligma Johnson. The greatest coach that's ever lived. And Ralph the Tank Stank. Okay. See where we're going with this? Okay. So let's just throw anybody in there. You want to make up some names. You want to throw some stuff together. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. Tony Dungy is not even close to a Hall of Famer. I don't care about the argument. Only argument I've ever heard is, oh, he's got a great winning record in the regular season. In the regular season. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Good for you. All right. All those regular season wins you got with Peyton Manning. Peyton gave that to you, dude. And nobody even cares because you have a less than stellar playoff win percentage. Okay? That's what we want from coaches. We don't give a flying shit if you're going 14-2 and 13-3 and then losing every freaking year in the playoffs. It's like, okay, really? It's like the Gruden thing again. Oh, Gruden just took Tony Dungy's team and won the Super Bowl. Oh, really? I don't remember Tony Dungy and the Buccaneers playing against the Patriots in 2001. I don't remember the Buccaneers playing against the Ravens in 2000 or against the Tennessee Titans in 1999. Or against the Broncos in 98 and 97. How long has he been coaching in 96? We need to go back to 96. I didn't see him against the Patriots. I didn't. In 95, he was the coach in 95, I think. Okay, so we didn't see him coaching against the Steelers. So they make it sound like that the Bucs were right there on the brink, that they were in the Super Bowl and that they were making things happen, and then John Gruden just comes in and just mops it up. That's not what happened. Sorry, but that's not the case, okay? And you got to close the deal. So whatever, man. It's bullshit. But the guy, he just has no football IQ at all. He doesn't know what he's doing. He is absolutely overrated, the most overrated coach there is. Find me a head coach more overrated than Tony Dungy. Okay? So, there you go. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So. Lil Speeda Boy, welcome. He said, who's worse, quarterback Trey Lance or Zach Wilson? Huh. Zach Wilson, I think. But we've not seen a whole lot of Trey Lance. But I think from what we've seen, I think we can safely say that Zach Wilson is worse. I'm not high on either one, but if you're making me pick, all right, guys, I'm going to go, but thank you for being here tonight with me. 2.5 hours. This was so much fun. I'm so glad I did this. I just, tried to come up with this. No, Arians is not the most overrated because nobody's saying that Arians is a Hall of Famer, and nobody put Arians in the Hall of Fame. And nobody's trying to claim that Arians invented some kind of offense that he didn't actually invent. So, no, I can't say Arians at all. It's just, it wouldn't work. So, again, like the overrated thing. The overrated is how far you're rated over what you've actually achieved. You know? So, okay, guys. As always, I'm going to leave the chat open for 10 minutes so we can talk. I'll be in the chat too if you guys want to chat or anything like that. So, and we'll get together tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some great games tomorrow. We'll all have fun and enjoy it. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
No more stone. No more spears.
Jaded, frustrated, degraded, downgraded, traded, all in a day. Command, stand, banned, planned, scanned, strand, reprimand, across time.
Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports.